Hey everyone, to the LPL Summer Split 2024. I am Mazel. I'm joined by Trouble, and we are into the final game of the day. We didn't catch up, but we're here anyways. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. It has been a 1-1 series so far between BLG and LNG, and Game 3 kicks off now. Only one of these teams can leave this series undefeated here in Group Ascend.
You see the drafts down here. Yone, we speculated that it was going to be banned out. I feel like it has been a statement mid laner for a lot of teams, and a very good late game insurance, if you will. Getting to these 3 items can turn teamfight side lanes around. However, I'm seeing something that I particularly get worried when I see. Whenever I see Nidalee, I'm expecting it to get ahead super early. Now, you do have a lot of setup towards the top side of the map. WeiWei should be looking to try and shut down Beansna early on. And he does have the setup together with the Renekton.
And you have to remember, even though it's been some time now, WeiWei was the jungler that left, and Shun ended up filling his place on BLG and been there ever since. So, little bit added to it, but WeiWei obviously a very well-known Nidalee player. Also, just thinking back to all this time on suiting, as we do look at the Ahri.
He's playing the faker
He's
skin.
Doing it. Woo! He did it. Let's go. It's also just thinking about the compositions a little bit more. Not only is it Knight's Ahri, which you know, Nightmarably very happy to see in a Game 3 when it all matters, everything's on the line. But it's also Scout's Azir, known as one of the best Azirs in the world. So very excited.
I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add more to the equation. It's also Shun's Vi, which he made
Gala's
a huge
Kaisa.
name.
It's all over the place. And
Okay, all right, fair.
That's the thing about this. That's what I love, is that these teams are putting everything on the line for this Game 3, because not only is it a moment of pride, but for LNG, you're moving to your halfway point of this Rumble stage to potentially be undefeated if you win here. And for BLG, a 3-0 start for them, even though they're a little bit behind on games.
Absolutely, and I feel like for WeiWei, he's looking to play, as we mentioned, towards the top side of the map, potentially playing with the combo onto the Renekton. But for BLG, it's all about that mid jungle. You pin someone down. It's so easy to get resets with the Ahri. I've spoken about the Vi a lot of times and how a lot of the teams will sort of draft Vi, but they will not have follow-up for the Vi. Right here, you have plenty. You've got Leona, Ezreal, Gnar. Every single one of those champions could just jump into the fray and get a reset for the Ahri. And when Knight's Ahri gets resets, things get really spooky in the team fights. As you mentioned, one of the champions that he is known for as well, especially on the faker skin, getting a little bit of that energy over from the LCK too.
Using it against Scout, who was the understudy of Faker for the longest time when he was on SK Telecom. You know, just the little mental advantages. But it's also thinking about this setup as a whole, right? WeiWei, as you said, needs to be very proactive. Shun back on the facilitation in some extent, but also a very proactive jungler in her own right for Vi. And a hover down towards bot side, as this is where the pathing has led to early on for these two junglers.
You see, WeiWei is going to end up towards that top side of the map. Shun is going to clear from top to bottom. Not much is going to be happening in that early game. LNG sporting the 2018 Worlds Finals bot lane as well. A very known combo with Jakilov and Baolan back then. If I'm not wrong, that is the Jakilov skin as well. Onto Gala's Kaisa.
It is indeed a beautiful one.
Not the Baolan skin, however.
Not that one,
onto Hang.
The new skins are too cool. And, we also get to return to a bit of a conversation that we haven't seen much of in this blind pick Renekton. Since we've been trying to catch up to the games, but now WeiWei going to be up here to stop Bin's advances. Won't be able to get anything himself, and Shun is right up here as well.
Yeah, he'll get spotted out right now. However, if you miss your spear, WeiWei needs to back off immediately, especially when you're charging a Q right there from the Vikings. A little scary!
Oh, they actually might get him. The Cougar Claws, they sink deep, and WeiWei gets first blood for LNG.
Great stuff right there. That's exactly the combo we talked about. WeiWei is going to want to play towards the tops of the map. A tale as old as time. Renekton W into Nidalee Spear into all-in. Both commit their flash. However, and Bin has the teleport to get back onto his lane, has the flash available for himself as well. So the follow-up gank is not going to be as easy as it would if he had committed that summoner on this particular gank.
I'm also going to take a look at how quickly we get into the objective conversations here, because I think that was super important last game around, especially with LNG kind of sacking all the bottom side pressure and eventually, well, we're just going to get the fight. And that's the kind of combo you have to be ready for. Spirit Rush could be used to safety as level 6 just came online for Knight. He's able to go in and trade back and forth, but now that we get these level 6s, that mid lane priority is going to be important for either Dragon or Grubs.
Oh, that was almost the perfect timing from Hang's Roam to catch Knight right before he dinks to level 6. The W kills one creep right there as he gets shuffled back by Scout, giving him that level 6 Spirit Rush, gets him out of any danger. That would have been huge because it would have most likely meant that LNG can get this Dragon. However, right here, they're just looking to pretty much fight for vision.
They actually try to go with the Zenith Blade there for On, but not going to end up finding the follow through with it. But you still have a lot of bodies down on the bot side for both these two, setting up the 3v3, but it is LNG who potentially take pole position over the Dragon.
Yeah, and for the side of BLG, you've got better combat summoners on your bot lane.
I don't have a lot of follow-up, but you do have the plasma stacks. Early damage there as well with the percentage. But that is just the try onto Elk and On, keeping them under their turret. It is Shun using some of that knowledge of WeiWei being down on the bot side to do the grub.
And you'll see slowly but surely it will start picking up. The second Shun is level 6. We're definitely going to see a lot of action specifically towards that mid lane where he can chain it up together with Knight. Dipping into Fog of War. It's one of the things they used to do together. They both hide into Fog of War that use the ultimate from Vine. It's a very easy follow-up through with the taunt. The charm, sorry. Plus the combo from Ari. Scout has found himself a Vi. That's a level 6 Vi, however.
Wild Vi in the grub pit there. Looks a little bit different
from the grub.
She was just
trying to fit in, man.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, the fists are big, but I don't know. The grubby eyes just don't match, I guess.
The pink aura with the pink hair, he tried.
Yeah, true. The closest you're going to get, I guess. Level 6 is not there for On and Hung, as they will need those to have a little bit more presence. Knight going to move over to the blue buff now, and this is where Shun and Knight become so lethal on the map, is once they get into roaming of the 2v2s.
And that's exactly what we just talked about. The second Shun gets that level 6, he dips into Fog of War together with Knight. Zika is there and WeiWei's around. They're going to push them off, actually. Scout.
Oh, he gets charmed right in it as he's trying to go for the combo. Does have the Shrima Shuffle available to him if he wants to pull it off. Obviously, Scout very well known for his Azir, but also very well known for a very strong start to the Rumble stage here. And I think Knight and Scout will still take a lot of the center stage of this one.
The pace has slowed down, and it's very understandable. LNG with a huge task in their hands. They're 3-0. They're proving that they have majorly developed between spring and summer. And now they're facing spring's #1 BLG. It's not a small feat. It's not an easy one whatsoever. You need to play a very certain way to take down BLG, and they did manage to do that in level 1. They took the fight onto BLG. And right here, they absolutely do have the tools. However, I would like to see that Nidalee to get a little bit more further ahead in the early game. Tarzan managed to pull it off without him necessarily getting ahead, but he did have a pretty fed misfortune in the likes of Light. That did majority of that damage.
They find Scout. There's a cease and desist used. They don't want to follow it up. Flash out from Shun. The Emperor's Divide came through too.
Now, that's a great combo right there. You can very easily bait, and while Vi is traveling, you can still move in that movement. He hasn't pinned you down yet. Scout uses that to get Shun right under the tower. Doesn't commit any summoner, so it burns the flash off of Shun as well. Great movement right there from Scout, and honestly, great patience as well to expect Shun will be hanging around that mid lane. Again, we said Knight Shun duo, especially when they're on Ari and Vi duty, is not to be played with.
Little side note, as the Swifties have been completed as the first item there for On. A little bit more movement for himself, but also some catch potential, as he will be a primary engage tool, him and Shun, on the map for BLG as a whole. And I kind of want to talk about those entrances for LNG, because it's not as simple, but it's definitely some big combos from Hung and Scout, as BLG now look on to Zika, who just got down here, by the way, and is going to be completely trounced on. Hung has pop quickness. He's coming in over the top rope now as well, trying to get on. On just dives to the turret out right there, and Hung is the one that picks up the kill.
Great awareness by Zika. The first thing he does when he sees multiple people underneath his towers, he clears out the wave, and he needs to flash the Viking, which is exactly what he does. He knows Shun doesn't have flash, doesn't have his ultimate available. He burned it out in the previous skirmish over in the mid lane, engaging onto Scout. Again, incredible awareness coming in from Zika, who's had a pretty good series overall. Stole the dragon as well off of Knight in game number 2, stopping the soul from going away. And Scout, again, not on the Yona this time around, but he's still being a silent nuisance.
They might put that nuisance to bed here, but it is going to be a nice little shifting sands out of there by Scout.
You can't put a bear to bed.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Getting a comfortable enough bed?
I've tried, you know, I've had a pigeon on my balcony once. I've tried.
I used to like put a bed out there for the pigeon?
No, I just tried to make like a fancy little nest.
Oh,
but
getting fancy. Okay.
she didn't like that. She made her own.
Oh, well, hey. best laid plans. There you go. It is the Grubs being traded on the other side, though, so it'll be 3 for 3 across the table for that one. So nicely done by LNG to use some of their map presence up there, as they did shift Scout through the sands up into the top side. TP down bot, though, deny this outer tower from BLG by Zika.
And again, both teams are exerting in general a lot of pressure on the side lane, and in general, BLG were the team that would put the utmost pressure on the map in general. Again, very fast in macro. You'd make a play on one side, then make a play on the other. The shuffle's gonna come through. Jump by
actually
Bin.
got the outplay right now on Scout. He jumped over the Emperor's Divide. Now he's just chasing him down. Walk it out. It can't hit the rock. Oh, the biggest piece to the puzzle, and it just doesn't fit.
Flash for flash right there, mid and top lane for LNG and BLG respectively. LNG, though, are gonna take that pressure that Scout generated on the tops of the map, get a second dragon for themselves. Starting to stack them up for later on. Bin still waiting in this brush. He still has Mega Gnar. It's coming up. It's about 10 seconds max off of that cooldown. Shun gonna get spotted on the ward. Scout knows that Vi is around. Tries to stay safe right there. Hung is on his way towards the top side of the map to try and cover for his mid laner.
And I see them actually all just moving up here. On is on the way as well. You do have push in mid by Elk. True Shot Barrage not available for him to help up here just in case. But honestly, Scout has a really nice time defending with the wave clear that he's able to bring to the table. And that's where, you know, we talk a little bit about some of the big strengths for LNG and BLG, but also some of the question marks now, as LNG are trying to make a play on the Bin. Shun is already here behind, and Elk also in tow. But WeiWei hasn't gotten as monstrously ahead as maybe you'd want for a big, scary Puma.
Again, same thing happened to Tarzan earlier on, and Light popped off. He did all the carrying himself, and if someone can carry on a Kai'Sa, I'm sure that it would be Gala. Once he gets ahead and once he gets his items, he made his name onto that champion. We had our own producer screaming his name 3 times, because of the big play. So very known onto this champion, and definitely has the carry potential he needs to perform right here. However, BLG did have to expend the Mega Gnar up top lane, trying to catch Hung on the flank, and will not be able to contest that one. Another neutral objective going to the side of LNG, and this is pretty much what Nidalee offers a lot to compositions. He's very fast with neutral objectives, very evasive as well, so you can very easily sneak in, take an objective, get out. Just 500 gold lead between the two junglers in favor of WeiWei, and 1 level up However, Shun's job in this game is to set up for Knight to get resets on someone who's overextended on LNG.
And that's going to be extremely crucial in the fights to kind of keep an eye on, especially when these two mid laners decide to go forward. Until then, we'll be resting on our laurels, waiting to see them go clash to clash. But it is also a story of interest for Knight, who, finding himself on this BLG roster in this year, and them finding a championship for the first time in the organization's history. Really big step up for a team that has been building to this, right? They canceled the demons of JDG that they had lost so many times to, and then able to take down LNG in a lot of those moments towards the end there. So I really have a lot of high hopes for the developmental trajectory of this BLG team, and it's nowhere near stopping.
Oh, we have the race here for first tower. Sorry. Yeah, for first tower between the two teams.
The bot outer was
BLG was already okay. BLG already had first tower. He's gonna be Scout winning this race at least. Referral is gonna be popped in the mid lane this time around. Hung knows how to drive it. I revoked his license last game. He got it back this one.
Instead of getting crashed, at least Gala gonna have to burn the cleanse. They find though as they get him. Shun and Gala get the kill. They get the outer turret as well. Another piece of the base going down. All 5 members from LNG down towards mid lane.
Again, a reminder, what brought BLG's downfall in game number 1 of this series was LNG willing to take more aggressive trades into them, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Shun onto that Vi. Has fallen behind a little bit in experience, caught up now level 10. He's a little bit too far forward underneath his tower, ends up getting punished. Hung right here, he'll Q Hung's W, but on the turnaround, they'll absolutely engage onto him. Flash W by Zika, and everyone else piles up on top of each other. And this is the beauty in general of LPL teams, that they are willing and instantly willing to pull the trigger onto a call, no matter what the call comes from. This time it was from the top player. Zika finds the opening, pulls the trigger, everyone piles on, they take the tower and they take the life. And very importantly, that kill went onto Gala's Kai'Sa.
And the beauty of the blind pick Renekton. It's been running rampant around LPL, but honestly, if you can find plays like that, it makes the biggest of differences, even if you are super far behind in the lane setup. Now, second items are going to be very close for LNG and BLG. A little bit more fighting strength in that regard, but it is a soul point that's coming up on the table for LNG. They want to position around it.
They definitely have the tools. One kill onto Gala as well has taken him that much closer to the second item. However, BLG taking full control of that river. They do have the numbers advantage. Only now Scout will TP into that mid lane. Will help a lot with that push. Reminder, BLG do not have a tier 1 mid lane tower, which means once the push goes through, they don't care about it. They don't care about the tower.
They've got a big flank, and they do end up getting the dragon down. It's going to be going over the way of WeiWei, stealing it away in that soul point. Now Zika with the flank. BLG trying to reposition on the left side of the fight. Scout's going to have to burn the flash. The reset had come through from Knight. He's going to burn his flash too, but can't get the follow-up as Scout utilizing that improved blast cone to get away. It is the dragon secured by LNG, and it's also a kill traded back and forth.
Both AD carries end up dying in this fight, but the most important part of it is that LNG get the soul point. BLG will be forced to fight them in 4.5 minutes time. Let's watch this one more time. WeiWei has a fantastic position in the pit, and Shun tries to follow on taking the 50-50, but WeiWei just absolutely wins those. Everyone's gonna pile up onto Elk, and then on the other side, everyone's gonna pile up onto Gala. Both AD carries again end up going down. Scout with an incredible escape right here as well. Ooh, just about evades that Q.
So close. Knight almost able to connect there, but doesn't end up finding it. Now we're back on the map with a contest over Scuttle, and we're just fighting again, because why not? Scuttle Crab was secured by BLG in the end. They did get the TP as well out towards the mid lane by Ben.
And I'm glad that BLG are actually waking up in this game. You've got Ari and Vi. You need to utilize this tool, this refresh of the ultimates onto the Ari early on. Vi's value drops so significantly much later on that she ends up just being a CC tool. Once you press R, it's a one-way trip. You know you're gonna die the second you press it, and you hope that your team will capitalize on the target that you have chosen. So if it goes any later on, you get a lot of value through the heals and the poke coming through from WeiWei, but Shun pretty much becomes a CC bot.
So if they can get the right target, it might just be the ticket to victory for BLG. We do have 20 minutes on the table, on the board, and it means that Baron is up. Scout, getting caught by the charm, hits the Emperor's Divide, but is it going to be enough? Nice quickness from Hung. Look who else has come in. They just keep adding bodies to it, and now they get the big trade, though. Both mid laners are down. It's turning into a 2v2, but look, the ADCs are on their way. Is it going to be fast enough, though? WeiWei going down low. Elk trying to get forward with it, trying to get one more auto. It's on that claims it, too. It's the reposition on the other side, though, by Gala and Hung. Zika catching out Bin. Here comes the killer instinct as well. They get the hop over the wall, though, and Bin is to safety. Baron started up by Bilibili.
Bin has the flank right here as well, has the flash, just needs to charge his bar. Zika still has the ultimate available, tries to zone away on.
One does get the Zenith Blade combo. They get the double knockup, though, and LNG, we're waiting for this fight the whole time. Guess who's popping up? It's Gala. Spacing out Shun there as well. Bin getting the rage bar up. He's about to go Meganar. He's going to try to get the wallop combo. He gets the Meganar ulti into the wall. Hung going low. Shun claims him down. And Bin makes the difference in that fight. Gala and Zika able to make it out after, though.
Such scrappy fights between BLG and LNG in this game. They're both trying to get that early game advantage for their compositions. 2 items on tonight, and they're trying to take advantage of that. But they end up falling short in the next to come and exchange, and overall nothing earned on the map for neither one of these teams. The wave is going to get pushed by Knight, and just a couple of creeps are going to die to the tower. Nothing much. Let's see this again. Bin gets caught by Zika, but had Gala been patient, it's pretty certain that Bin is just going to dive over the wall. You could have held onto that ultimate and just follow up the Gnar after he dives through. Zika's gonna utilize the remainder of that ultimate that he used to engage upon Bin, and Gala tries to clean up the place right here, putting down the damage onto this Kai'Sa. However, you don't have the ultimate, so once Bin has charged that mini bar, that Gnar bar, it's getting a little bit scary.
Couple little things going wrong for LNG there with the slice and dice over the wall as well, not going to hit, and I think it makes a massive difference in the fights. BLG still able to rough and tough their way into these fights, though. It is the last outer turret by BLG taking down. Zika will find shouldn't been. He's just in a 2v1, getting a ton of his health taken out. BLG did take the outer tower in mid lane off the back of that one with the Sundance.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Zika found them or if they found him, as they were right behind Fog of War, trying to pick someone off. But hey, Zika could say, hey guys, I found 2 guys from BLG. They took my ultimate, but it's gonna be fine. Scout, tops of the map, pushing out, and this is peak Scout right there on his Azir, on his side lane, trying to be fed, taking that tower down, complete control of the map on the top side, and this is the decision making from BLG. LNG are starting the Baron in return for the Dragon. BLG, though, are sort of between a rock and a hard place, because they need to deny the soul, but also the Baron could be going down super fast.
The thing is also use the Sun Disc and top side to keep pressure up there and keep pushing so that now you can redeploy on the bot side of the map. It's not going to be fast enough, though, for LNG, as they will just lose out on their soul point so far. BLG denying that, buying themselves another 5 minutes here, but LNG, they were just threatening the Baron. Looks like they're going to go back to that well.
Their TP onto Bin. They're going to pull their own TP from Zika. This could be a 50-50.
We'll find Hung. BLG trying to collapse here. They're going to try to catch this support. They do. Baron getting low. Solar Flare in there. Bin is in the pit, though. It's Baron secured by LNG. They will scatter like the wind to try to get these Baron buffs out of there. Zika trying to dodge out of the rest of BLG's ire. They will end up taking down the Croc. You will end up getting, though, a decent amount of Baron buffs out. 3 of them in tow.
And let's see if LNG are actually going to be able to utilize the 3 Baron buffs that they have on them right now, because they did sacrifice a lot for that. They sacrificed their soul, and they sacrificed 2 members. All the skills going over to BLG makes them that much stronger in that mid-game 2 to 3 item spike. And Hung tries to find the flanker there, sits on top of a control wall for himself, but the second Shun finds him, he's absolute paper. He ends up melting away. Bin also threatening with a Mega Gnar inside the pit. Everyone has sort of run for their lives. Zika had previously used his flash and ultimate when he was found inside their own jungle, so didn't have that one to survive longer. And only 3 buffs remaining for LNG. They should be able to use that to take some control inside the jungle. Again, 3.5 minutes is a long time until the next dragon, but they can definitely extend their lead by pressuring out those outer towers to get the last standing gold on the map.
Try to make this a positive Baron power play here for themselves. It's hovering around that right now, but is positive in their own right. And I think looking at the way that the gold has been divvied out, really nice for WeiWei to have a little bit of that, but I definitely want to see Scout picking up some more gold. He's going to get the TP in mid lane, and this Baron buff still up for a little bit over a minute and 20. Use the Sun Disc to start the siege.
Oh, Shun and Knight on the left side of the map right there, ready to pounce if anyone from LNG overextends, but the Sun Disc is making sure that they do have some sort of tower or power to fall up on if BLG engage onto them. And this is very scary territory for Shun right there. You see, he catches a spear, he catches a Q from Mazel. His HP bar gets chunked up too low. Mid lane tier 2, gone. Bot lane tier 2, the only one available outside of BLG's base, and that would be huge. If LNG can take all of this vision away from BLG, then the next dragon could be easier to fight for LNG.
Waiting to see who wants to pull the trigger first. One overextension. There's the solar flare. Mega Gnar not going to be available for Ben, so they can't make the play into the wall. LNG have the siege coming with another wave. They only have about 25 seconds on the Baron.
They unfortunately have no wave down the bot lane and they have to wait. Meanwhile, no one's pressuring the top or mid lane wave. Only now the mid lane wave is going to push forward on its own.
Oh, they got the flank. They don't even need it. They just want the fight. But they are split. The Emperor's Divide going to separate BLG, though. They found the backline access with Zika, who takes down Elk. And now they took the turret as well. Big Mega Gnar into the wall, though. And Ben might have bought them time, but Scout stepping up. He's under turret, though, under duress. And that is the siege onto the inhib turret and bot lane that LNG will pull off beautifully.
Great stuff right there from LNG. They pull off the flank. Zika, again, huge in terms of decision-making on how LNG are playing these fights. He's taking such a leadership role in terms of finding the angles, finding the targets, and assassinating them. 2, 1, and 5 onto that Renekton, and you can see why it's B1 blind pickable over in the LPL. Him and Hung over in the backline. He makes sure to stick onto Elk. None of that damage is going over to the front line, and anyone who tries to leave towards the other side, Scout boots the wall, shuffles them towards that Renekton bin. A very good effort right there to try and get something going for BLG, but everyone was so chunked down for the previous fight that I just couldn't push forward to finish off anyone.
And this is why you can blind pick Renekton, because at any point in time, you can absolutely cancel out one of the carries of the enemy side, and we've seen Zika do that time and time again here. As we see LNG with a pretty hefty advantage, and a lot of permanent damage done to BLG's base. You gotta remember, this is a battle of the undefeated here in Group Ascend, and this is a potential marking of the halfway point for LNG in their 3-0 start to this Rumble stage.
And what we wanted them to do when they sacrificed so much for taking this Baron, again, they sacrificed their soul and they sacrificed 2 kills to take that Baron, was to empty as much as possible. Scout!
This is the play. Maybe Scout gets charmed, though. They actually get the combo. CC, as now the cease and desist is already used, but Shun is all by himself. They can't get to him because the Emperor's Divide just separated the entirety of it. Now Zika with the slice and dice was looking to go forward. The rest of LNG feeling hungry, feeling ready to take down BLG. And they are on the cusp of doing so here. They have a siege on mid lane, too, and the bodies just can't hang for BLG.
They do have a wave, but Bin is Mininar and he has to defend the bot side. This is a 5 versus 3, and Zika is looking, doesn't have his flash available, but has slice and dice.
One big engage can make the difference here. Bin trying to stack up his Mega Gnar bar on the bot side. The waves are not going to be helping LNG in that regard, though they will end up coming in afterwards, but the dragon is on the table. Look at Knight. He got the deep TP. He will be seen in the mid lane coming over, but he's got a bit of a flank here. but it may be flaked on his own right as Hung gets the knockup. He does still have a lot of mobility. Spirit Rush still available. Dragon Soul goes to LNG, and that's the Kempunk Soul.
Knight tries to pull the offensive TP right there, trying to see if he can find potentially a pick to maybe turn this into Baron that's spawning in 10 seconds. Not going to be the case. Soul going over to LNG. They've pretty much emptied the base as well. Only one tower and inhibitor remaining on the top side of the map. And LNG, the question was, how much can you take with that Baron after all the sacrifices you made for it? The answer was a pretty hefty amount off of BLG's map, depriving them of a lot of vision. And currently, Shun has become what we feared he was going to become later on with this Vi. He's literally a CC bot trying to pin someone down, but the follow-up from BLG has been very lacking. Scout with this Azir has been so on point with his shuffles that the follow-up from BLG is almost impossible.
You can try to move around this top side of the jungle, but LNG themselves trying to fight over. Knight has an angle there. True Shot Barrage cross, though. Spirit Rush there. They get the combo there. Zika on the other side, though. You got to be careful. The Emperor's Divide is buying so much time, but BLG, they're trying to fight tooth and nail in this choke point. It's just not possible. They have Hung on the other side now on, getting low, and there's a big croc to bring him down. A killer instinct from Gala, and he finds the big pick. LNG, they've done it. Gala on his signature pick. Scout on his signature pick, and we are reining in the dominance for LNG in this Rumble stage. They will remain undefeated, and they will bring low the Titans of BLG and take a 2-1 victory.
LNG returning to form. It was not a fluke. Summer is their season officially. They brought down top esports 2-0, clean, clinical, ruthless. That was LPL's number 2 seed. Now they went up against LPL's number 1, and they took them down.